Do you usually write by hand?
Not really anymore. These days I find myself like typing on laptops and texting on my phone a lot. So I rarely reach for like a pen and paper anymore. That said, I still have to jot down notes by hand in class because laptops are not allowed. So I think it's a pain really.
So do you think handwriting will be replaced by computers?
Well, no, in this day and age, it is true that modern technologies have largely marginalized handwriting to a great extent. And people don't really, write by hand as much as they did in the past. However, I still believe that certain things must be handwritten. And for example, like you should always handwrite a wedding invitation to show respect to the guests.
Is it still necessary to keep handwriting?
Absolutely. I think it is important that we teach young kids how to handwrite. I think handwriting exercises really do wonders for their cognitive development. And actually, my brother, who has beautiful handwriting, is a brilliant kid.
What impression does a person handwriting have on other people?
I think in Vietnam, handwriting certainly speaks volumes about the person that you are. For example, if you have neat handwriting, people tend to think that you are a good-hearted person. But by contrast, if your handwriting is unintelligible, for example, then they tend to think badly of you. It's quite an antiquated way of thinking, I guess.
Do you like history?
Yes, I take a very keen interest in history. I love to learn about, historical events and historical figures. World history is pretty cool, but I'm more interested in the history of Vietnam, so I'm very fascinated with, the rich heritage of our country, our past struggles against foreign colonization, and, just how peace was established in Vietnam.
What historical event do you find most interesting?
Well, I gotta say, one of the biggest milestones in Vietnam's history has to be the Declaration of Independence. So on September the 2nd, 1945, President Ho Chi Minh declared to the world that Vietnam officially became, a sovereign state, after, I think, thousands of years of being invaded.
Do you think history is important?
Without doubt, I think history plays an integral part in any societies. I think learning about history instills in people a sense of patriotism and an appreciation for peace. And I think without learning about history, we cannot possibly learn from our past mistakes and failures.
Do you like to watch programs on TV about history?
Absolutely. I find them much more interesting than learning about history from, say, textbooks, for example. And, history documentaries provide a very vivid portrayal of, historical events like battles and wars. And it's such a fantastic way to get kids, small kids, to take an interest in history.
How did you get information about history?
I gotta say the internet is my go-to source for, getting the facts and figures about history. But I also love just visiting museums and have a look at, the exhibits on display. I think it's a very involved experience, in learning about history.